South Oshawa. What an awful, terrible place to live. Or not. I can't tell you how many times I've had buyers that are looking for homes in Oshawa tell me, just not South Oshawa. It's the bad part, right? In this video, I'm going to give you a tour of maybe one of the most misunderstood areas in Oshawa, the Lakeview community. I'll give you an idea of what it's like to live here with lots of area footage, and you can then decide for yourself if this is somewhere that you'd like to call home. My name is Vilija Truelove. I'm a local Durham region real estate agent, and I'd love to hear from you. If you're thinking of a move to or within the Durham region, you can set up an appointment through my calendar link, which is in the description below, or you can just send me a text or an email. Everything that you need is down below. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. So, the Lakeview area. It runs from the 401 in the north down to the shores of Lake Ontario in the south. And then from basically Park on the west and Simcoe on the east. It's not a straight border, but it's basically all of this residential area in here. This area is mostly residential, and then a lot of green space as well. The Oshawa Creek runs through this entire area, which also features a conservation area and a wildlife reserve. You'll also find Lakeview Park, which I'll talk about shortly, and then you do have industrial areas surrounding Lakeview on both sides, including the GM plant on the west side over here. So, talking about green space, outdoor recreation options in the Lakeview area are amazing. Like I had mentioned, the Oshawa Creek runs through here. There's lots of other parks and playgrounds, and the Waterfront Trail and beach run right along the southern border. The highlight, of course, will be Lakeview Park. You've got this entire area down here with walking and biking trails, soccer fields, and baseball diamonds. There's a fantastic playground that was just redone a few years ago. It's really great for the younger kids. There's even a zip line and a splash pad. You'll find food trucks down here in the summer, as well as a really nice restaurant and an outdoor patio and a snack bar. And then there's even a fantastic beach area. You might find some beach volleyball games going on, and it's a really nice spot for a swim in the summer. We actually love coming down here every year. And you can even try fishing off the pier. Speaking of fishing, there's some great spots to fish down here as well, right along the Oshawa Creek. The Oshawa Museum is also down here. You can take a tour of some of the original homes in the area, and they have events down here as well, including yoga in the park on Friday mornings during the summer months. You can easily spend a whole day here in the nicer weather, and you'll actually find it to be quite busy in the summer. But there's also lots of parking, and a bus runs down this way as well. So you'll also find a community center here in the Lakeview area, the South Oshawa Community Center. Now, there was a really nice pool here. It's closed until further notice while they're assessing it for repairs. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. We'll have to keep an eye on it. There is a hockey rink here as well, Harmon Park. It's one of the older rinks in Oshawa, but they do have lots of hockey here and public skating as well. For the necessities, you will find a Freshco, Shoppers Drug Mart, and a dollar store right here at Cedar and Wentworth, as well as some restaurants in that same area and a public libraries here as well. For schools, there are several public as well as a Catholic grade school right in the area, and there's a public and a Catholic high school here as well. Speaking to people that I know whose kids do go to these schools, they are happy with them. You might get some mixed reviews, but I think that can probably be said for a lot of schools. For commuters, you've got 2 exits off the 401, Ritsit and Simcoe, and even from the lake, you're only a few minutes drive up to the highway. Of course, being in the south end, you're far from the 407, so if that's a highway that you take, you'll likely want to take the 401 to the 412 and then take that up. Now, you might be thinking, all of this sounds pretty great. What's the issue people have with South Oshawa? Well, it could be that it's a lower income area. 23% of households have an income of under $30,000, and then another 30% combined have a household income between $30,000 and $60,000. There are quite a few rental buildings and homes in the area as well. 46% of the properties in this area are rentals. Prices, which I'll get into at the end of the video, do reflect this. So if you have a budget of say $700,000 or even a lot less than that, a lot of the homes that come up in your search will be in this area. And depending on your price point, it might even be one of your only options for areas to consider in Durham. And I personally don't think that that needs to mean that you don't go ahead with your dream to buy a home. Because when we look at crime, which is probably the biggest concern for most people, the Lakeview area has nowhere near the highest concentration of crime in Oshawa. So you can check out the Durham Regional Police Crime Map, which is actually linked in the description below. But over the last month or so, you can see here all the crimes that have taken place. So you do have some sexual violations, car thefts, a couple of robberies, more assaults for sure. But again, when you compare it to the rest of Oshawa, you can see it's way more concentrated in the downtown area. I did also reach out again to people that I know, either past clients or friends that live in the area themselves. They didn't have anything bad to say about feeling unsafe or about the schools either. So of course, people have to make their own decisions about all of these things. But if you're considering a purchase and this is the only area that falls into your budget, or you just love the idea of living near the water, I urge you to come and hang out in the area at different times of the day, speak to people that live here, and maybe make your own decision that way. I do find that a lot of people just make it an automatic no. Don't live in that area. It's a bad place to live. But their opinion often isn't based on any actual facts. I recently helped someone purchase a home down here, and she had a coworker tell her, absolutely not, don't buy down here. But when you ask them why do they feel that way? They don't live in the area themselves. They don't even visit or come down here themselves. So it's just an automatic response to what they've heard other people say. So I'd say check it out for yourself and you may be pleasantly surprised. So moving on, housing here is about 29% single detached homes and also 17% semis and 11% townhomes. And then about 15% low-rise condos or apartments and 17% high-rise condos or apartments. The majority of homes are older, with 81% built before 1980. So you'll find a mix of home types, mostly older homes, and a mix of renter and owner occupied. As far as demographics, families with kids make up 44% of the households in Lakeview. Couples without children make up 20%, and 27% are households of one person living alone. So it is a kid and family-friendly area. And now the real estate prices. I mentioned that this is one of the areas in Durham to consider if your price point is lower or you're looking for your first home. Although you'll see that there are also some amazing options for gorgeous homes down by the water, even properties with amazing lake views or right on the water. So for prices, I'm looking at this year, so from January until May 2025. So if your price range is under $450,000 or $500,000, you actually have options here. Not too many will come up, but condos and some really nice condo townhouse complexes do come up in this price point, which you won't typically find unless you go quite a ways outside of the Durham region normally. So this is a great starting point to put you into a home. And these are often 2 to 3 bedrooms, some of them nicely renovated, especially as you get closer to that mid $400,000 to $500,000 price point. And some of the complexes even have some great amenities like a pool. From the mid $500,000 up to around the mid $700s, you'll find tons of options. Lots of semi and detached homes, mostly 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, good sized lots. The higher you get up in that price point, typically the more renovated it's going to be. And for the most part, a detached will cost you more than a semi unless it's quite a small detached home. But for example, at a $650,000 budget, we recently saw a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom semi sell, new flooring, pot lights, gorgeous renovated kitchen, stainless steel appliances, renovated bathrooms, and a nicely finished basement. You're getting a really beautiful home in this price point. Once you're over the $750,000 into the mid to higher $800,000 price point, we're seeing detached, mostly beautifully renovated homes, many bungalows on good sized lots, a lot of them with basement apartments or at least potential for that. And then, like I had mentioned, if you want a waterfront or a Lakeview home in Durham, this is actually one of the neighborhoods that you want to consider. These homes don't come up for sale very often. Over the last year and a half or so, we've had a handful of sales that have sold between about $1 million and around 1.5. But these homes put you on the shores of Lake Ontario and are some truly remarkable properties. If you'd like to see a list of homes that are currently available in this area, you can send me an email and I'll get that over to you so that you can see for yourself what kind of home that you can actually get here. So that finishes off my tour of the Lakeview neighborhood. If you're interested in checking out some of my other area tours, these are a couple to watch next. I've made a lot of them, but if I've missed an area that you'd like more information about, just let me know in the comments and I'll put it on my list to make next. If you have any questions, you can reach out through text or phone call, or like I said, you can book an appointment through my calendar link in the description below. I'd love to help you with your move too. Thanks so much for watching.